Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so this video is based on what I traded on Monday, and you clearly understand the Monday setup and exactly what to be looking for on your intraday trading, right? So this is Monday's price action, and we have the buy side liquidity, which is my original target. We have sell side liquidity, which is also my target. We also have the intraday AMD, and of course, if you not watch that video, it's best you find the video on this channel and watch what I mean by intraday AMD. So what I was originally looking for in this video was a buy, but at this point, price seemed to be respecting that intraday every day, and I was like contemplating if we could buy from there or we could sell, then start buying. But in this case, I did not know exactly what to do once equity is open, and it was just like few minutes, I think 3 to 4 minutes away from equities open. That's 9:30 New York time, and if price wanted to start from there to buy, I would have waited for a fair value gap, right? I was waiting for a fair value gap to go into there, or I would have used that particular fair value gap on the 5 minute time frame as an inverse fair value gap for entries. So it was just 3 minutes to New York, and I was waiting to see exactly what price will do. That sell side liquidity could act as a fill that would take price to the original buy side liquidity. But although that low was already taken out sell side liquidity, and you can see how price is reacting to the new week opening gap. It broke the new week opening gap, which you know for Monday setup originally needs to take out any sell side liquidity on the new week opening gap. But in this case, there was no sell side liquidity on the new week opening gap. Like the new week opening gap was the edge. So price did what? Created a short term low in London session, and I was expecting New York to take out that short term low, but I was not very sure of that because that short term low that was created in London session was taking out an old low. So I had two scenarios in my head. Either price could start buying from there, or price could take out that side liquidity. So you can see that's equities open now, and price already started some impulsive move, showing momentum to go higher. But I would not jump into that kind of trade because I wanted price to give me a fair value gap. If price was going to start from there to the next buy side liquidity, I would have waited for what a fair value gap. But in this case, price had other intentions, right? So I just waited, especially waiting for a fair value gap. Price gave me none. So that is a no good trade. No, trading is all about seeing what price does, then react, not trading what you think. Because what I was thinking was to buy. And if I had traded that, you can see price would have taken me out. So price came for the sell side liquidity and starts going for the buy side liquidity. I had to pause the video, the recording at that point because it was taking too long, and I don't want the video to be too long. So I had two scenarios on my entry here: the first inverse fair value gap or the second inverse fair value gap. You can see that now the first inverse fair value gap, I wanted price to balance that area, and you can see the wick is already balancing the first fair value gap. But I also wanted price to retrace to that original fair value gap. But this is Nasdaq; it can be very volatile, and not every time you expect retracement, right? Yeah, it happens. While some other people will be waiting for retracement, I will not. Once price trades into that fair value gap, that's my entry. You can see at retracement, I picked in my entry there with about 6 lots. And you should also know that as I'm taking these trades on TradingView, I'm also trading it on my MT5. I don't want to be displaying my live trading on my on YouTube due to the YouTube AdSense guidelines. Okay, so I don't want to violate any of those things, like I'm showing you that I'm making this amount of money or some amount of money. This video is only for educational purpose, so this is simulated trading, although I'm taking the same trades on the back end, like on my MT5 um app with my live ones and my Profem. So it's lots of punching, lot of trading at the moment, and I could not narrate the video while I was trading because it was the pressure was too much, punching here, punching there, punching there. I used my two phones to be trading on my live account on my profile, and I was also using trading view to be trading on the simulated account. So I'm only displaying the simulated account due to YouTube guidelines. So don't get me wrong, okay? Whatever I was punching here was the same thing I was doing on my MT5, and you can see I entered another lot size there. I was adding more positions. Yeah, I was adding more positions to the trade. That is like what I do. You can see from that entry where I got in to my stop loss and to where I'm targeting. That's the next buy side liquidity. If you look at it very well, it could just be one risk to reward ratio. If you are using the position tools, it could give you one risk to reward ratio. But I don't trade based on those risk to reward ratio aspects. I was adding more positions because I know exactly where I'm going to offload all my profit, right? And I saw the first buy side liquidity. That's the first high, which could be a potential target for partials, and that was where I took some partials of, I think, four lots or something. And once price gave me um, more momentum to push higher, I entered with more lots. All the lot size I used for the trade in general was about 14 lot size, I think. The general 14 lot size. So in this case, you can see what Nasdaq is doing. So why some people think that's a coach change of character, or that's a break of structure, or that's an optimum trade entry, or whatever. Why some people are thinking that I'm expecting price to retrace for them to start buying. I've already bought, and I know very well that price is not going to retrace. Yeah, I know very well because it's Nasdaq, and I've been trading Nasdaq for so long to understand that it hardly retraces. Sometimes it uses the unicorn, sometimes uses the inverse Fairvalue gap. So this inverse Fairvalue gap, I'm going to make a lecture on it, I think, on its own, to explain why it's so important on the chart and why it's so important for you to understand that price does not fully retrace into this inverse Fairvalue gap. Sometimes it could be just a week, right? So that was what I was doing there, and I was waiting to take out four lots on that first high. Yeah, and price started retracing all of a sudden. So this was not shaking me at all. It was not shaking me at all. It's something that I know some guys will, want to start taking partials or want to start closing the trades when they start seeing some opposite candles. Yeah, so that was the trade, and I'm kind of, the trade took too long. It was total of, I think, 1 hour, total of 1 hour. So I had to add clip speed. So the video is playing in a two times speed of the original video. So don't get that wrong. That I used 18 minutes to make all of this. No, I used almost an hour to close the trade and everything. And it's very simple because this is intraday trading, right? Kind of learn this trading strategy from ICT. It's very, very simple and straightforward. I'm not looking for high risk to reward ratio and all of those things, because if I was looking for high risk to reward ratio, then my stop loss wouldn't have been in an invalidated area. I'd have want to place my stop loss where where price is going to give me like 5 risk to reward ratio to that target, or 6 risk to reward ratio, 4, and so on. Like some people do chase all this RR. But why chase RR when you know exactly where price is going to? You figure out where price is coming from. Price is coming from that side liquidity, right? And price is going to where? To the next buy side liquidity. So why chase RR when you could just possibly add positions and take partials along the way? It's called trade management, right? So that was exactly what I was doing. And at that point, I'm going to show you the executions at the end, everything I entered where I took partials and all. At that point, I was adding more positions. I think two lot size at the time, and that was the inverse Fairvalue gap. Another inverse Fairvalue gap where I added two more lot size there, and price retraced into it. You can see that retracement. Price needs to break through with some impulse candle or momentum or displacement, anyhow I want to call it, then retrace a bit, and that could be another entry. So I was just looking for anything that could use as a potential entry to take to add more positions and where I could use as a potential target, short-term target to take partial. So that buy side liquidity was the first that came to my mind because it's an internal high. So price will always react to that kind of level, but it's not the external, like it's not the higher time frame drawn liquidity, so price cannot reject from there. And I added more positions there because I was already close to taking partials. This is how I manage my trade. It's very, very important. But I'm not saying you should trade like me. No, I'm not saying you should directly trade like me. It's going to take some time for you to trade like this. And this is the 5 minute time frame. The 5 minute and the 3 minute time frame is kind of my time frame where I do all my executions. I don't really go down to the 1 minute time frame that much anymore, and I don't take positions on the 15 minute time frame. I basically use my 1 hour time frame, my 15 minute time frame, and my 5 minute time frame for with the 3 minutes for intraday trading, right? Then the higher time frame like the daily and weekly for my buyers. But the weekly buyers has nothing to do with my trading. Only the daily buyers since I'm an intraday trader, right? So at that point I already made I think up to 4% or so if from my starting balance. My starting balance was around 4,800 to I mean on the simulated funds though to 5,000. So I was going to take it to 6,000 in total, but I could not make up to that count. Don't get me wrong, the same way I was punching these buttons and taking partials was exactly the same way I was doing it on my Profem account and my live account together. So 4 lot size, I'm about to take 4 lot size off there. That's what I'm typing. I'm uploading 4 lot size there, 4 lots, and price just took out a high and I sold 4 lots. The funniest thing about this trade was that once price was close to my take profits, network really fucked with me. There was a lot of network glitch in between these trades. So there was a time where there was one where I failed. Okay, the time network stopped me and I failed to set my take profit. Like I failed to set the take profit. I was waiting to use market order to close it manually, right? And network just came and did thing. For almost 20 minutes I could not access my trading view and anything. But I rushed to set my take profit on my MT5. That's on my Profem and my live accounts. But the one that I was trading on, I was running on TradingView, which I was using for this particular video. There was no take profit. I was like, wow. So I had to struggle to get my network back. I had to swap SIM and stuff. So when I got the network back and I saw that, oh, probably I'm not taking my take profits. That was the first thing I did. Setting my take profit. It's very important as a trader to set your SL. Once you pick your trade, you set your SL immediately and set your take profit. Just know, have a point where you want to take off your trade. It's very, very important. Trust me, it has helped me a lot. Before I used to be this kind of trader that, once I take my trade, once I take my trade and I'll set my stop loss and forget to set take profit. Not that I forget, but I'll deliberately not set take profit. I'll just like let price keep going, that kind of stuff. Let price keep going until I'm okay with the kind of profit I want. Then I'll close the trade manually. So that's sucked in my trading a lot. That's drained me a lot because I would see a potential buy side liquidity, a potential target where I could have offloaded my profits and stuff. But I'll just keep letting it run, and at the end of the day, price will just reverse towards me and reverse against me and take my sell. So it's something I suffered for nearly a month, and it's in my journal. So that was where I set. That was where I set my take profit after coming back to see that price was nearly at my target. So like I was saying, that happened. I suffered for that particular incident for nearly a month. I had to write it on my journal on the list of my bad habits, and from there, I stopped anything. I stopped anything that will lead me to not set and take profit. So before I pick a trade, I have a potential target where I want to offload. It doesn't matter on your own books, on your own side of trading. It could be 1 hour, it could be 2 hour, but Trust me, what I'm getting out from that trade is is more than 1 hour or 2 hours. That's the reality. And my stop loss is predetermined. My take profit is predetermined. My entry is predetermined. Everything. You don't want to go into a trade without determining those three things. It's very, very important. You know exactly where you want to enter, know exactly where you want to exit. Now, price could keep going further, but that's none of your business because you're done with that trade. Trading is all about going into the market, finding your strategy, taking your chunk from it. You will take just little from it. You don't want to catch the tops to bottom and everything. You know, there are some traders that are like that. They want to catch the very bottom, like at the edge of this sell-side liquidity. Some traders want to enter from there and they want to catch the very end of the move, like where price will originally start rejecting. But that's I'm not interested in that. Okay, I'm not interested in that. I just want to find the potential target, which is a buy side liquidity, and set my stop loss on an invalidated zone where I know that price is not going to go there. Like I could have set my stop loss close to my entry, you can see, but I had a motive that price could retrace to that fair value gap, so my stop loss would be on that low because that was the invalidated zone, right? And so my trade was close to take profit, and this was 1 hour in total. This was 1 hour in total, so the thing was, it was amazing because some of the people in my community were like, Price have not done any Monday setup and all of that. And I was like, what are these guys watching? Meanwhile, I already traded Monday setup. So that's my account balance and that's my equity. You can see the trade is still running. The Monday setup was not as clear as others, but you can see price created a short-term sell side liquidity after taking out the new week opening gap. Then come back for the sell side liquidity and go for the buy side liquidity. So that's the trade. This was network. Network just glitched me here and I could not do anything about it until my network came back and I found out that my take profit and everything has been taken and the trade was done with. So but on my MT5, that's on my Profem and my live account, I saw when price already took the take profits. I was wondering when am I going to get my network back so I could, record how price took out my take profit on trading view. Also, it's very, very important to know that this trade is something that is not something that I jumped into without knowing what I was doing, right? So that's where price took my take profit. You can see price finally reached for the buy side liquidity and price kept on going. So those are my executions. You can see how many lots I placed there, and that is that for the day. You can see my equities, my balance 5,900 all the way from 4,800. I wanted to get it to 6,000, but that's for another day. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I'm so grateful. Please, if you like this video, subscribe, and until next time, be safe.